Welcome back to the Cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin just confirmed a massive reversal signal on the larger timeframes for the first time since the beginning of the previous Bitcoin bear market. But in the shorter term, the price of Bitcoin is still holding this crucial area of support as the price is potentially about to repeat history in the short term, now forming and starting to confirm a new short-term bullish divergence, while the price of Ethereum is potentially doing the same, getting close to repeating history, forming and possibly starting to confirm a bullish divergence here, while the price of Chainlink is also potentially about to reconfirm this major bullish divergence on the daily time frame. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and we need to talk about what just happened over the last one day, because we've now officially confirmed a weekly candle close in the price of Bitcoin below this line right here in the super trend indicator on the weekly Bitcoin price chart. So of course, that was sitting at around 96,000, and this latest weekly candle close confirmed at roughly 94,000, well below that line right there, which is now officially just confirmed a reversal signal, flipping this indicator from green to red in the super trend indicator on the weekly time frame for the first time since basically the beginning of 2022, the beginning of the 2022 bear market. And now it is worth pointing out that this signal by itself does not always guarantee a one-year bear market. For example, we saw this same signal during, of course, the middle of 2021. Obviously, during that bull market, we ultimately saw a new all-time high at the end of 2021, but during the bull market, we saw a major multi-month correction where the price was basically bearish for a few months, but not necessarily a one-year bear market. So keep that in mind. This is obviously a bearish signal to pay attention to, but does not necessarily guarantee a one-year bear market. But overall, obviously still expect a lot of weakness, most likely bearish price action within the next couple of months is a very likely scenario. And of course, that's also going off this weekly Bitcoin price chart, which has already been perfectly playing out for over a month now, exactly as I've been warning about. Obviously, we have this massive bearish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, which confirmed at basically just after the all-time high over a month ago now is when I started warning about the coming pullback and a lot of weakness coming very soon, lacking bullish momentum for the price of Bitcoin. And obviously, since then, over the last 1 month, that's exactly what we've seen as predicted, and this will likely continue moving forward. This is what I continue to predict, at least over the next few weeks, most likely over the next couple of months or so. We're still going to see a lot of weakness in the market, lacking bullish momentum. And so remember, on slightly smaller time frames, we can see short-term bullish moves, bounces from support, short-term bullish reliefs, things like that on the smaller time frame. But at least for now, those are only short-term moves, not really showing significant strength on the larger time frame. So overall, that's still the situation on the weekly time frame. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, at least for now in the shorter term, the price is still holding onto this area as major support, at least for now, sitting in between around 92.5k to 94,000. Really just above 94,000 is where this support really starts. So that area of support right there in between roughly 92 to 94,000 is major support for the price. It's based on the golden pocket area of support, the most important Fibonacci area on the price chart. And so like I already said over the last couple of days, continue to expect the price to hold this area as support, which means we could play out a bit of choppy sideways price action or very slight bounce, but basically just holding this as support, at least in the short term, talking about maybe a few days, maybe a week. Obviously, if we're looking at the last key point of support, that was sitting at roughly $100,000, and we held that for roughly a week before ultimately breaking down. So once again, this is talking about the shorter term, holding this support. If we're looking at the bigger picture, the larger structure, still currently looking bearish. So let's just say in a few days or in a week or two, it's possible we could continue that bearish trend with another leg towards the downside. But in the immediate short term, for the next couple of days, still expect the price to hold this area, considering at least for now it is some major support to pay attention to. And if the price actually confirms a breakdown with, for example, a daily candle close below around 92,000, and especially if we fail to get back above that area, in that situation, it would be extremely likely we'll drop down towards around 85 to 86,000 as the next key point of support that I'll be targeting. But as for resistance, if we see a continued bounce here, I don't necessarily expect a strong bounce, but if we were to bounce all the way back up here, the next massive resistance to watch out for is at roughly 99 to 100,000. And if we're taking a look at this 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, looking at just the immediate short term, we technically have a new bullish divergence with lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows technically confirmed with just a couple of small confirmation signals here, higher lows confirmed in the RSI on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart. So of course, this bullish divergence means we could likely see maybe some choppy sideways price action or very slight bullish relief. But once again, as I've been saying throughout the video and many videos here on the channel, don't expect significant strength. Don't expect a massive bullish reversal out of this trend based on this little short-term signal alone. Overall, things are still looking very weak, especially on the larger time frames. It's just in the immediate short term, we could continue to hold this area as support as a very likely scenario and maybe play out this bullish divergence with a little bit of a break like this from all of the bearish price action just in the immediate short term. And then maybe in a few days or a week, that sort of time frame, we could possibly continue the bearish trend later on, kind of like what we saw just here. It's possible we could see something similar repeat, not the exact same, but obviously last time we had a short-term bullish divergence, we played out just a bit of choppy sideways price action, a slight little bullish relief, but then ultimately we ended up continuing the bearish trend later on. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see that in the shorter term, looking at the last 1 week worth of price action, we have a small amount of liquidity building just above the price at roughly 97,000. So it's possible we could see a slight little move to take out that liquidity at roughly 97,000. But remember, that would only just be a little move towards the upside. As always, don't expect a lot of strength right now. So overall, those are my expectations moving forward. Still holding this support, maybe just for a couple of days, but then in terms of the next 1 month, or couple of months, still expect a lot of weakness, most likely a continued pullback. But obviously you could still profit even during this bearish price action using things like short positions, for example, to short Bitcoin as it moves towards the downside. So like I talked about in my last 1 or 2 videos here on the channel, I talked about a potential trading strategy, a trading opportunity if we first confirm a break in the price of Bitcoin below this area of support. So for example, if we confirm a break below around 92,000, that could be a potential signal to open a short position. Not financial advice, I'm just sharing an example of a trading strategy. But if we break below 92,000 with confirmation, and especially if we fail to get back above that area, that could be a potential signal to open a short position to trade that move towards the next support and then take profits just before we start reaching the next support at roughly 86,000. So obviously that's a potential trading strategy, a very simple trading strategy to actually profit on that next leg towards the downside. And obviously if you had the same sort of trading strategy over the last 1 to 2 weeks, you would have done very well with these drops below these points of support. If you, for example, opened a short position once we broke below one of these key points of support and then closed or took profits out of that short position at the next key point of support, you would have made profit during these drops towards the downside. And so once again, that's just a basic example of a trading strategy that can be profitable, that can make you easy money even while the price is dumping. So obviously if you're just buying on the spot market, that is obviously this right here is not too good for you. But if you're actually more of a trader, you can use long positions, short positions, and hedge your risk that way, then you could still make profit no matter what the price is doing. And as soon as I take my next trade and open my next trade, I'll be sure to let you know about it here on the channel. As always, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos. And of course, if you want to get prepared to take that next trading opportunity, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And if you're using the first link below the video to Pinex, you can take advantage of some major bonuses here that are only available using that link. For example, if you deposit just $100, you get a 200 USDT bonus into your Pinex account, basically a bunch of free money from the exchange just by making that deposit over on Pinex, but only if you use that link. Or if you deposit $1,000, you get a $600 bonus. If you deposit 10K, you get a $3,000 bonus. If you deposit these larger amounts, you can get up to 40,000 USD in bonuses from Pinex into your account just by making an account using that first link below the video and making a deposit. And then you can go ahead and use these bonuses from the exchange to actually fund these futures grid bots to basically open your trades over on Pinex in order to profit from that next Bitcoin move. And so especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go using that first link below the video to take advantage of these major bonuses here. But if you want a no KYC exchange to simply place long positions, short positions without KYC, for that I personally use 2bit as another option out there, another exchange that I also use. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below the video. And if you use that link, the second link below this video, it will take you to this page right here where you can take advantage of also some major bonuses over here. For example, up to 10,000 USD in trial fund bonuses and 8,000 USD in withdrawable stable coins just by simply depositing and trading crypto using the link below the video to 2bit. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can get a free $30 sign up bonus and 1 month free VIP 3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees over on 2bit, very cheap trading fees, and essentially free money from the exchange just by simply making an account using that second link below the video. The link to 2bit takes about 30 seconds to do that, to take advantage of these major bonuses here. And once again, 2bit is indeed a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and I'll basically say the same thing. I'll keep this quick. I'll say the same thing that I've already been saying over the last few days, over the last half a week, which is basically expect some slight bearish price action in the Bitcoin dominance. And obviously, since I've been saying that around half a week ago, that's exactly what has started to play out as predicted. So basically, I continue to predict the same thing, just a slight little pullback like this in the Bitcoin dominance, which means some altcoins, a lot of the major altcoins out there, might hold up a little bit better than Bitcoin. So for example, if Bitcoin has a dump here, a lot of altcoins will still likely dump, but maybe some altcoins don't dump as hard as Bitcoin if the Bitcoin dominance is pulling back. That's basically what this means. But with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and right now, similar to Bitcoin on this daily time frame, running into this major support, Ethereum is also running into and still holding this major level of support here, sitting at roughly around 3050. So in between around 3,000 to 3.1k, we have a lot of support in that area. And if we continue to hold this area, of course, the next major point of resistance to watch out for is at roughly 3.6k to 3.7k if the price were to actually get back up there. But if the price actually breaks below this support, breaking below around 3,000, in that situation, it's extremely likely it will drop down towards around 2.6k to 2.7k as the next important area of support. But remember, this is all talking about the shorter term. If we're talking about the bigger picture, the larger trend on the daily time frame, we're still clearly within a multi-month bearish trend, which at least as of right now does not have any confirmed signal or a confirmed sign of a reversal out of the trend. So yes, we could see a little bit of a short-term bounce from this support, and we have been seeing a bit of some choppy sideways price action over the last couple of days holding this support in the short term, but that's only short-term price action during a larger bearish trend. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on this daily time frame, of course, we have a bullish divergence to watch out for, which is starting to possibly confirm. We don't really have a lot of confirmation signals, so I'll still be waiting for a little bit more confirmation, but we still have lower lows in the price in the candle closes and higher lows forming in this daily Ethereum RSI. But once again, I'd like to see a little bit more of a bounce actually confirm here in the daily Ethereum RSI in order to actually confirm the bullish divergence. And the last time we confirmed a bullish divergence on the daily Ethereum price chart was back here around early to mid October. And of course, what came next was mostly choppy sideways price action, a sideways consolidation, which is one of the most common outcomes. We usually see either a sideways consolidation or a slight little bullish relief like this from a bullish divergence, basically a bit of a shorter term break from the bearish trend, but not necessarily a reversal out of the trend. So remember, even if this further confirms, right now I'll still be waiting for more confirmation. It's not really properly confirmed, but even if this confirms, maybe expect a little bit of a short term break or a relief from the trend, but not the end of the trend. So that is the current situation for Ethereum. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 2-day time frame, right now Solana is once again retesting this major area of previous support, which is now acting as resistance, and that's sitting in between around 143 to 147. So continue to expect a lot of resistance in that area, and if the price were to actually break out back above 147 and hold above that area, in that situation the next major point of resistance to watch out for is at close to 170, really starting just under 170 as major resistance. And as for the next support towards the downside, if we see another rejection and a further pullback here continuing the larger bearish trend, trend. In that situation, of course, we have this point of support based on these previous lows at the daily candle closes, or the 2-day candle closes, I should say, which is sitting at around 135. And so far, we perfectly just saw a slight little bounce from exactly around 135 as expected. But if we break below 135 in that situation, the next support to watch out for is in between around 124 to 127. And overall, expect very similar price action for Solana as what I said for my analysis for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for example, if Bitcoin and Ethereum maybe play out a little short-term break from the trend, holding these major points of support in the short term, maybe for a couple of days, and then let's just say we ultimately continue the bearish trend later on, would likely see something very similar for Solana in the shorter term leading into the mid to longer term. So keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, we're still playing out this massive bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. So honestly, not a lot has changed over the last 1 day on this chart. Still expect a lot of weakness and most likely a larger pullback coming over the next multiple weeks, if not months, which is exactly what I warned about here on the channel back around end of July, early August, and has been playing out as predicted since then. And if we're taking a look at this daily XRP price chart, obviously we had this previous short-term bullish divergence, which perfectly played out for close to a week just in the short term. But now we've basically come back down towards the previous low, effectively invalidating the previous bullish divergence. But it's possible we could form a new bullish divergence, considering the RSI is still forming higher lows, while the price could possibly form a new lower low in the daily candle closes. But right now we don't really have a lot of that confirmation. So overall, the price is kind of just bouncing around sideways in the somewhat shorter term here, as we can see, but we're still within a larger bearish trend, playing out the much larger bearish divergence. So as I've been saying throughout the video and many videos here on the channel, yes, it's possible we could see some sort of slight little bounce or a slight little sideways consolidation in the shorter term, holding some points of support here, but overall still expect a lot of weakness if we're talking about the next weeks or months. And as for support to watch out for, we still have a lot of support at roughly around $2.20, which we're pretty much running into right now. And if we break below 220 with confirmation, the next major point of support is at roughly $2.05 to $2.07. And as for resistance, if we see another short-term bounce here, expect a lot of resistance in between roughly $2.30 to $2.40. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink, obviously still within a multi-month bearish trend, forming larger bearish price structure like lower highs, lower lows, for example. So that has not changed over the last 1 day. We've not confirmed any reversal out of this trend, but we are possibly forming or basically extending the previous bullish divergence here with another lower low in the price in the candle closes and higher lows still currently forming in the daily Chainlink RSI. So if we see a little bit more confirmation here, once again, we don't really have a lot of confirmation as of recording this video to actually confirm the higher low in place in the RSI. But if we see a little bit more of a bounce confirmed like this in the RSI over the next 1 or 2 days, in that situation, of course, that would start to reconfirm the bullish divergence, telling us we could be expecting either a sideways consolidation or a slight little bullish relief. But once again, overall bullish divergence does not tell us to expect a major bullish reversal, just a shorter term break during the trend. So that is the situation. Once again, not currently confirmed, but even if it does confirm, just expect a short term relief during the larger bearish trend. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, still expect a lot of support at roughly $13.30 to $13.50, and a lot of resistance in between around $15.20 to $15.70. And if we break below around $13.30 and especially below $13, it's possible we could dip all the way back down towards around $11 as another major point of support to watch out for. But once again, the immediate support is at roughly $13.30 to $13.50. And once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below the video to those exchanges if you want to take advantage of those major bonuses that are only available using those links. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out. Once again, links below this video. And if you want to actually know how you can trade these moves no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.